changing your life one story at a time. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast with Editor-in-Chief Amy Newmark.
Hey, it's Amy Newmark with your daily dose of Chicken Soup for the Soul inspiration. And today is what we call Thoughtful Thursday. I'm going to share a very cool story with you that will make you think. You know, with tens of thousands of Chicken Soup for the Soul stories, I've usually seen almost every idea more than once, but this one is unique. This is another sneak preview for you from Chicken Soup for the Soul, The Power of Gratitude. The story is called The Gratitude Party, and you may want to have one of your own after you hear about Alison Herman Craigie's idea. Alison says that she has always been a grateful person, and that would come in handy when she needed it. But first, Alison describes the fact that she had a wonderful life. She was divorced and raising her 2 children by herself, and then she remarried, and her life became a dream, filled with vacations, private schools, household help, a beautiful home, and a loving husband. But then the dream ended. Everything went wrong, and very quickly. First, Alison's father died, and at the same time she was mourning him, she was caring for her mother, who was undergoing chemo in a last-ditch effort to fight off the cancer that was killing her. Then Alison's husband left her and filed for divorce. And then, after that, in the next few months, Alison suffered 2 more losses, her favorite aunt and her favorite uncle. And then her mother succumbed to that cancer. Alison says what happened after that is a blur to her. Somehow, in addition to all of those things happening, she lost her job, she had to move out of her wonderful house, she had to settle her parents' estates, both of them, and she finalized her divorce. And that happened while she was also caring for her 2 children who had special needs. Sometimes Alison wanted to give up and die herself, but she pulled through for her kids. And one of the things that helped her was her mother's voicemails, which she had saved. Somehow, her very wise mother must have known that Alison would need these, because she had left her a series of positive, inspirational voicemails. So Alison could now listen to her mom saying things like, "You were always a plugger," or "You're made of steel." And when Alison heard her say, "When you're done licking your wounds, you've got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps," she did just that. She went to a therapist, she got medication for her depression, and she landed a new job. Things were starting to look better. One day, after things did get better, Alison and her kids were discussing how well things were going, and they started listing all the people who had helped them during their darkest times. And then they wondered, did those people know how much their support had meant to this little family? Did they know that even the little things like watching the dog or meeting them for dinner or giving Alison temporary work or giving her a shoulder to cry on were the things that had saved them? And that's when they had a great idea. They decided to have a gratitude party and invite everyone who had been important to them in the past year. So I met Alison last year at a lunch in Boca Raton, and she told me about these parties. I loved the idea, and I asked her to write the story for us. And when she wrote her story, she and her kids were about to throw their 3rd annual gratitude party. Every year, they invite the people who had a positive impact on their lives in the previous year. And sometimes those people don't even realize what they did, that some little act of kindness made such a difference to Alison and her kids. Now, each year, they also come up with a different fun way to express their thanks at the party. So one year, they read poems that they had written about each person, expressing why they were grateful for that person. Another year, they made badges for their guests to wear, and the badges had clues on them as to what that guest did to help the family. And the guests had so much fun reading each other's badges and guessing the answers to the clues about how they helped Alison and her kids. Alison says the great thing about this annual gratitude party is it keeps them thinking all year. They keep noticing all the nice things people do for them so they can keep that mental list of who they should invite to the party. It's really a wonderful idea. Now, when I worked on our gratitude book with Deborah Norville, she shared with me that she had read a lot of the research about thankfulness and how it's been scientifically proven to make people healthier, happier, and more successful. And they have better relationships, too. Everyone responds better to someone who is counting their blessings instead of focusing on whatever is wrong. So Allison's idea is a wonderful way to keep gratitude top of your mind all year long. There's a self-help author named Melody Beatty who has a good quote about this. She said, "Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow." I'm Amy Newmark. Tomorrow is Friend Friday, and we're going to talk about the power of gratitude more with my co-author for the book, Deborah Norville. Thank you for listening to the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast today. If you'd like to learn more about the book I mentioned, Chicken Soup for the Soul, The Power of Gratitude, then please go to our website, chickensoup.com.